And we are back. Welcome to the Players You Need series. It is now time for Game Week 3. And if we're being honest, if Game Week 1 was a poor performance, then Game Week 2 was a complete disaster. We only got 37. Several reasons for that. The mistake that I've made is I've just backed certain teams to do well, and they didn't. Liverpool, obviously, shock result at home to Crystal Palace, drawing 1-1. Salah obviously doing nothing as captain. Nunez getting sent off for the -2, and obviously Liverpool conceding as well, meaning Trent only got 3. I also backed Aston Villa, which was looking very good until Digne decided to put through his own net, wrecking what would have been a large amount of points for Martinez and Matty Cash. The cheap gambles didn't quite work out either. Saliba getting -1 against Leicester. Bailey only coming off the bench for Aston Villa, and Wolves drawing 0-0 with Fulham, meaning that any of the Wolves cheap options would have got 2 points. So my Gibbs White only got 2. Thank goodness then that Man City did do what we expected them to, and Walker, De Bruyne and Haaland carrying us to that 37 mark. Special shout out, of course, to Nico Williams down at the bottom there. I did say he was a great pickup for last week as well. I just didn't see him getting into my starting lineup, but sadly that would have been the right decision. What that did mean for the overall league and the competition of let's see who can beat the best of Game Week team, it basically meant that if you were in the SO99 league last week, you would have got in the winner's circle. So here is essentially the entire league. Congratulations to Vos Davo, if I'm saying that name correctly, with your 90 points. You are the overall winner for week 2. But as you can see there, even my own team managed to beat the best of team last week, getting 52. There was one person, sadly, from the SO99 League, which did not make it into the winner's circle last week. I will not name and shame them on here. They know who they are. But congratulations to everyone that beat the best of Game Week 2 team. Hopefully, I've stepped up my game this week as I have made some slight changes to how I'm operating. I am going to spread the players around a variety of different clubs to try and advise you the best option per club. And let's see what that Week 3 team is going to be. So, I will start with the goalkeepers, and I am going to pick Joel Ward as my option to start. He is still the cheapest goalkeeper on the game. So far, he has started both of Leicester's games. They are at home to Southampton, who have not made the best of starts. I did predict Southampton to go down. I would expect Leicester to do well against Southampton, and I'm backing them for the clean sheet. If you're not as confident as I am in going for Joel Ward, especially since they've just signed Alex Smithies and it's unclear whether or not Ward may start this game, I have opted for Aaron Ramsdale on the bench. I think he is the second best option for this week. Arsenal, obviously, 2 out of 2 so far this season. Look very good at both ends of the pitch, despite that Saliba, our own goal. But I'm going to go for Aaron Ramsdale as the backup goalkeeper against Bournemouth. I think he also is a great shout, not only for a clean sheet, but at 5 million as a cheap goalkeeping option. We are, of course, going to fill the bench with some more cheap options. Nico Williams, again, keeping his space on the bench. And I've added Lewis, as I've changed around where my cheap players are this week. And you will see why in a moment. So, onto the defence, and we start with the man who has a goal and assist already from right back so far this season. That is, of course, Reece James. They now come up against Leeds. I think Leeds have the potential to score, but like I said in the first game week for Reece James, he is so liable to do well the other way that I think he is a must-pick against the majority of teams this season. So, for me, Reece James gets in again this week. Next to him, I'm going to go for Emerson Royale, which might be a slight surprise for most of you, but he started the first 2 games for Spurs so far this season, has played well, got himself a clean sheet and an assist already from the right wing-back spot. Knowing my luck, they're now going to play Jed Spence against Wolves, but I don't really see Wolves causing Spurs many problems, so I think Royale for 5 million is a great option to go for this week, as I'm still not convinced whether or not he'll go for Sessegnon or Perisic at left wing-back. As for the final defender, I'm going to go for another 4 million option, and one that I think you guys should definitely have on your radar, and that is Patterson from Everton. Again, playing right wing-back, and again 4 million. So he's kind of like Nico Williams, but this time for Everton. And they do come up against Nico Williams' side in Nottingham Forest, and despite Everton's poor start to the season, defensively they've done reasonably well. So against a weaker team like Nottingham Forest, I can see them getting a clean sheet. And from what I saw of Patterson when I watched Everton the other day, he looks very dangerous going forward as well. So I think he's a must-have player for the fantasy football just this season in general, at 4 million playing right wing back for Everton. And I think he's going to do well this week. On to the midfield, and we'll start with the big two power hitters. That is going to be Mohamed Salah once again alongside Kevin De Bruyne. I have gone for Salah again, and I have gone for Salah as captain, despite being a Manchester United fan. I think with all the turmoil going on at Manchester United, I think this game is coming far, far too soon. And Salah's record against Manchester United speaks for itself. He got a hat-trick at Old Trafford last season, and if we play anywhere near like we played in the first 2 games of the season, Liverpool are going to destroy us. And with Nunez suspended due to the red card, there is a possibility Salah could start down the middle. I expect it to be Firmino, but you never know. Either way, I think Salah is going to be the dangerous option for this week. Next to him, like I said, I'm going to go for De Bruyne, which means I'm not going to go for Haaland up front. So spoilers on that one. I just think De Bruyne is the guy this year. If you can get him in your teams, I think this is the guy that could potentially get the most points of anyone this year, provided he stays fit. And his record and Man City's record against Newcastle speaks for itself. So Kevin De Bruyne in the midfield. Rounding it off, we start with James Maddison. Again, a Leicester player at home to Southampton. I think this is a great pickup for this week. He's usually Leicester's highest point scorer, and against a team like Southampton, you would be expecting him to get points. And rounding off the midfield, we have Kulusevski, who had a fantastic start to the season in that opening game. Didn't do so well against Chelsea, and even though Richarlison is available now, I would still expect Kulusevski to be starting this game and be causing Wolves a lot of problems. Finally, we move on to the attack, where we start with Gabriel Jesus, last week's top point scorer with 19. I'd expect him to continue that rich reign of form going into the Bournemouth game. Surely he's going to do some more damage there. I've not managed to fit in Martinelli this week, but again, he's only gone up to 6.2, so a great opportunity to pick him up still before his price keeps going up and up and up. So for me, Jesus or Martinelli, or even Jesus and Martinelli, are good picks this week. Finally, I've gone for 2 strikers that are actually playing against each other, and I've gone for Mitrovic and Ivan Toney. Obviously, both players have had fantastic starts to the season, and I think respectively, their opposing defences will not be able to handle these respective strikers. I think Mitrovic will be too much to handle for the Brentford defence, but I also think Ivan Toney has enough power and strength to cause the Fulham team defence. So, Fulham defence problems. So, I couldn't really split these two, so I haven't, and I've just picked both of them for this week. I think either or are fantastic options, particularly for this week, and Ivan Toney in particular is a great pick for the next coming weeks, as Brentford really don't have tough opposition for the foreseeable future. Finally, rounding off the team, I have one more substitute, which is another cheap option for this week, and that is Dewsbury Hall. He only sits at 5 million, so if you can't afford James Maddison, I would strongly recommend going for Dewsbury Hall this week. As, like I said, he's 5 million up against Southampton and will be playing on the opposite side to Maddison in Leicester's attack. And that is going to be the end of my team for this week. Let me know down in the comments what team you're going to be rocking for this week. And if you think that your team has what it takes to beat the best of Game Week 3 team, please join the SO99 League with the on-screen code. As you would have seen in this video, all money managers will get shouted out in next game week's video. We're looking to get as many people in the league as possible. So all that is left to say is if you enjoy this series, please let me know by liking the video, sharing it with a friend, subscribing and ringing the bell. And I will see you again very, very soon.